Hello there! It is I, Meltonius. It is 2 a.m. I've got my Vietnamese coffee. It's cooled down from 90 plus degrees, and I thought, what better time to start recording my process of making my new Akumi game. My new mobile tower defense Akumi game. It might be nice to have a recording of my process. So here, I've got a new design for Akumi in this mobile game. This was the first sketch, and I thought I might show you guys my process. It won't be so much a tutorial as more of a just a rundown of how I create these sketches and what they look like from the beginning to the final stages. These sketches weren't exactly for the mobile game, but more of me just getting back into the process of drawing on paper. I'll show more of these sketches at the end of the video, so if you're interested in that, either skip all the beginning or watch the video. I might have to edit some of these out because there's some sexy drawings mixed in here. Nobody likes sexy things. Nobody! So I have to curate that part. But I started drawing some ideas for some monsters. And for a mobile game, big chunky designs are what seems to flourish. And there's a good reason for that. You can see the details better. You can see expressions. You can be more expressive in general. And this is just my cup of tea. I like drawing cartoony. I come from an animation background where less is more. Draw what needs to be seen and nothing more. It's all about efficiency. And I kind of settled upon these aliens, these big aliens, big-headed aliens that I've drawn in the past. I think will work really well for this mobile game design. So I thought I'd run you through how I go from my concepts to final design. Inking these sketches. And it's not inking to get a final product, but more of just to get a more refined idea of what I'm sketching here, because I can get really messy with my sketches, and the ink is just there to get more clear about what the idea was supposed to be. So, going back to my process is I start with the blue pencil outlines to get the idea. This is a process used by animators when they were drawing on paper still. You can draw in blue, which doesn't show up as much on a Xerox machine. And then come back in with a dark line, which will contrast better. Will contrast with the blue line. Basically, the blue line is kind of like your rough stage. And you come in with a darker line to finalize, or at least get a better or a clearer idea of what you're trying to convey. So I like to start off with a thick outline, come back in with a thinner pen to do the smaller details. And I found that just having a mix of thick to thin lines pretty much does half the work for you in terms of detail and finalizing it. See the character a little better. Let's see if we can do better on this rabbit character. Start off with a bold, thick line. Can't be afraid to mess up. That's one of the biggest factors I've learned for myself. You just gotta go in and lay the smack down. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, if it doesn't, I do have one cheat that I'll probably show when drawing with pen and paper. I'll give you a hint. It's just those whiteout strips, Sketchworks. Because we're going to end up scanning this into the computer anyway. So all the computer is going to see is black and white. A little bit of this blue. It just means we can... I'm going to turn the sketchbook. I can't help it. Let's stay true to how I do this. I probably won't go all the way. Because I turn like the sketchbook upside down and sideways and all that. Usually during the whole process. But I just try to stick to doing that on really key parts of the drawing. And I'll just move my body instead to position. Alright, now let's go in with the lighter details, the thinner details. I just realized how much my bunny girl resembles, I would say, a Mogwai girl. A Moglin girl, if you follow ATW. That's what happens when you make long ears. I've always made long ears on characters. I don't know why. It's always been a thing that actually I do know why. Appleseed, the manga. If you ever look up Appleseed manga, there's a cyborg character in there with bunny ears. They're more like antenna, but that's where I got the obsession with adding bunny ears on everything. Just looks cool. Put some more of those wispy lines I was talking about. Man, I really just love the aesthetic of cartoon, hyper cartoon characters. I veered away from it when the dark, gritty style came in vogue. And so I just kind of said, well, I can do that too. And then I got swept away in it, even though it was never something it's just not my forte. I don't like it. I don't like doing it. There's a lot of things I can draw, but what's important is, what do I want to draw? What do I like to draw? And for a while, I couldn't even answer that question because I've been drawing what I thought people wanted to see for so long. I didn't know what I wanted to draw anymore. So it's important that you stick to what you enjoy, but you run the risk of tainting your joy, I would say, of art. And I say that from experience, because I absolutely did that to myself, where I made art a paycheck, not something I enjoyed. It was something I avoided actually for a while. Like, oh, I'm gonna draw shit this week, which stunted my growth for years. Stunted my artistic growth. I didn't evolve as an artist. I didn't try to become better. I didn't try to learn new things. Because art was just a job. This is what I do to make money. Why do I want to do that on my off time? My off time, I don't want to do shit. I guess we're going to just talk about art in general. I've already explained my process. Just thick outlines, then inner details. I'm really just suggesting details too. Like I said, all this is going to change once I get to the final color art design. So like, getting too detailed here doesn't really make that much sense. You can if you're really sure about what you want things to look like. I might make her sword be this big butcher knife looking or thing. Most likely I will try different designs to see what fits best. Most likely. But there's always a chance you'll see in the game that she looks almost exactly like this sketch. That's possible too. It's all possible. I think that's enough detail for her. And then look at this, I drew a male. I don't know if it's quite the design I want to go for, but I thought, what would a male look like in this sort of cartoony design I started doing? I think he looks a little too doll-like, but you'll see in later sketches I can find a better balance. I do kind of like these dot eyes though, I'm not gonna lie. It's so simple, but works. I love it. I just love simplicity. I love drawing the least amount of lines, but conveying the most amount of clarity. Something about it that's just so satisfying. It's so satisfying! Just making 2 dots in a line. You know what that is. That's a face. I'm gonna try to make these videos 15 minutes. So I know this for myself, I don't like to watch anything over. So I might speed up some of this. So we got another page, we got 1 page. We got 3 more pages, well 2 more pages. I might fill this out later. Maybe I'll record the process. But if this is good, almost 40 minutes in, I'll go through some of the beginning sketches that I've started here. My sketches change constantly depending on what I'm trying to achieve. Here I started drawing on these post-its where I can really focus on composition and things like that. And this is some, oh shit, probably 2019, but I wanted to show you guys where I was at over here. So this was after a while of not sketching, so I was just getting into the groove again. This is where I discovered I like making chunky, I haven't completely discovered because I'm still drawing these more wispy characters, but I started to realize that I like drawing chunkier characters, trying to experiment with weird shit. Then me going back and forth between my more thin and thick female characters, trying to establish what kind of model would this thing look like. Still not sure what my male characters are going to look like. Another problem that I've had is not drawing up male characters. So my male character design hasn't evolved that much. It's kind of been the same since, I don't know, my 20s. Or since Akumi, I guess you could say. Kerrigan inspired. I'm still trying with the male character. And then we come to present mobile game design concepts. And I think I've gotten closer with what I want the male characters to look like around here. Like these proportions are more close to what I'm thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4 heads. 1, 2, 3, 4 heads. Maybe instead of 4 heads, make them 5 heads or 4.5 heads. And that might be the sweet spot for this male design. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you learned a thing or two. Comment below which of these designs you like the most. And you might see it in the next Akumi mobile tower defense game. Also, if you have any questions on my process, you can go ahead and leave that in the comments. But I want to do this more. Till next time, peace and 2 pieces. I'm out! Like and subscribe. Thanks. Oh! You're still here! The show's over. I'll be here next time, though. Go home.